This is a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports. WAAY 31, your home for high school football.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. Hello, Alabama, find a comfortable spot. We got high school football and it's coming out high. Now here we are and the lights are shining bright. Yeah, WAAY 31 is rocking all right. Nolan, Max, Xavier, and Antonio. It's the McCurry Band and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
A non-region rivalry showdown between an undefeated ARAB team and Fort Payne in our Big Game Friday night Game of the Week.
In our rivalry game of the week, it's the Battle of Limestone County. West travels to East in another non-region showdown.
Hello and welcome into Big Game Friday night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Week 5 of the high school football regular season is here. Noah and I joined here with Max Cohan, and Max, the season is flying by.
Yeah, no kidding. 6 games are already in the books, and things are starting to heat up.
Yeah, that's right. Also games taking place tonight across North Alabama as well, like at our Big Game Friday night Game of the Week, where Xavier WAAY was on the sidelines. Let's head to ARAB.
Although ARAB and Fort Payne are no longer in the same region, tonight is a game that means so much to both of these ball clubs. For ARAB, they come into this one at 5-0. It's their best start since 1949. So a win here would definitely keep that momentum going forward. However, for Fort Payne, they haven't played since September the 9th, where they were on the wrong end of a shutout, losing 18-0. So they are looking for a much-needed victory here tonight. How would this one play out? This is our Big Game Friday night Game of the Week. We head to the ARAB City Sports Complex, where the undefeated ARAB Knights host the one-loss Fort Payne Wildcats. And before the game, both teams honored 99-year-old World War II veteran James L. Carson. However, we pick things up in the second. Dax Barnador is going to take the snap and hand it off to Alex Akins, who turns on the Jets for a Wildcats first down before being forced out of bounds. And a few plays later, it's Marcus Ledford taking the direct snap, finding some room and moving the chains for another Fort Payne first down. But don't think this Wildcat team isn't capable of airing it out. Barnador takes the snap and has nothing but 6 on his mind as he floats a deep pass in the end zone for Skylar Cody. And that would be the Wildcats' second touchdown of the half. They would go up 14-0. But the Knights would look to respond. This is going to be Aiden Cox. He's going to connect with Brody McCain as he stumbles forward for a big gain for the Knights. And later, Cox would find his 6'4" target, Spencer Strickland, who bulldozes a Fort Payne defender. However, this drive would stall and ARAB would head into the locker room down 14-0. And the final score in this one is Fort Payne 21, ARAB 0. I'm with Fort Payne's head man, Chris Elmore. Coach, last time you all played, you were on the wrong side of a shutout. Tonight, the defense did its job. What was working so well for you all tonight?
Well, first of all, let me say this. I would be remiss if I didn't say this. To God be the glory for this night. This is what's good about high school sports. It's what's good about our country when two great communities get together in a big game and great fan bases, and both teams play extremely hard, and these kids get the opportunity to do that. So praise God that they were able to do that. Hopefully nobody got too seriously injured and they can all be back on the field next week. But what a great opportunity for our kids and their kids. But, you know, we've heard all week about their defense, and they've got a good defense. It was hard slid on them. But our defense is pretty good too, and I think our defense took that to heart, and they played about as well as we could play against a good team. And you know, our defense has played well all year, and this was no different tonight. They just keep showing up and keep making plays, and our defensive coaches do a phenomenal job, and just great kids over on that side of the ball that may not be the most super talented kids in the world, but they'll show up every day, and they'll do what they're asked to do, and they watch the film, and they communicate, and they talk, and it showed up tonight in a big game.
Well, now 4-1. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And again, the final score in this one is 21-0. Fort Payne defeats ARAB. They now move to 4-1, as I just mentioned, and ARAB has suffered their first loss of the season. For our Week 5 Big Game Friday night Game of the Week, I'm Xavier WAAY, WAAY 31 Sports.
Wow, what a stunner. Fort Payne defeats ARAB with a 21-0 win.
Yeah, how about we go to another 6A Region 8 team that was in action tonight. Buckhorn hosting Gunnersville and the other 5A Region 7, 6A Region 8 crossover. And the Wildcats came into this one with all sorts of confidence as they would waste little time getting their offense going. First, it was Julian Jordan getting Gunnersville to the goal line, running right into your living room with this one, bringing Gunnersville to the Buckhorn one, and then they would cap the drive off with the Cedric Jade Gomera dive to take a 7-0 lead. Guntersville out on top early, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. It's Jordan again as he brings the Wildcat right back to the goal line with this run, and this time they feed the man that got them there. Jordan powers his way in for 6 as the Wildcats go on the road and take a 14-0 lead, and they'll be headed back across Guntersville Lake with the win 52-21 over the Bucks.
At Scottsboro tonight, the Wildcats were hosting an undefeated Priceville team and hoping to bounce back from a loss to ARAB last week. The 5-0 Bulldogs looking to move to 6-0, and we start in the second half with Priceville leading 14-13. 3rd and 8 for Priceville, and Xander Gaines drives through for a Bulldog first down, but that drive would end and Scottsboro would go to work. Same play, different team. It's the Wildcats. Jake Jones who pushes through for a Scottsboro first down, and just a moment later, Scottsboro has 1st and 10, and it's Jones again, twisting and turning his way for a touchdown as the Cats grab the lead. But in the end, it's Priceville that remains undefeated, 28-21 the final in this one.
The Madison County Mustangs, they started their season 0-2 for the first time since 2017. Since then, though, they've won their last 2, and they hit the road tonight to take on Madison County. These two schools, former rivals, still are rivals, but with Madison County now in 3A, they might not meet as often as they used to. Bob Gotze and his squad came out firing in this one, already ahead 28-0, but the Tigers would generate a little offense. Jaden Wiggins takes the handoff. He's around the left side, picking up a first down for the Tigers, but the Mustangs swallowed just about everything else up. Mason Meadows back to pass, but he's going to be engulfed. Austin Chambers in the backfield. He gets the big sack, and man, he's pumped up about it. The Madison Academy offense looks maybe the best it has all season as they go on to win 42-20 on the road.
Changing gears and heading out to Trinity, the Decatur Heritage Eagles playing up a classification tonight, actually a couple classifications. The 1A school hosting 4A New Hope. We jump in with the Indians leading 21-17 and looking for more, and New Hope found success in the second half. Wyatt Bolden takes the snap and starts running, making his way to the outside and avoiding tacklers like the plague as he finds open space, and no one is even near him as he can shift down a gear to finish off this sprint and give the Indians an 11-point lead. Well, they figured it worked once, might as well try it again, so Bolden rolls out to the right again, and it looks like he's home free. Only one man to beat, but Jackson Thomas makes the stop inside the 5. New Hope would stay on the ground and finish this one with the direct snap. Will Rice, he's nice, falling to the pay dirt as the Indians' lead increases even more. The Eagles would rally to take a late lead, but New Hope comes out on top, 48-47. Here's a look at some other scores from across the state. Spring Garden win 41-12 over Cedar Bluff, and the Valley Head Tigers come out on top over the Eider Hornets with a 56-30 win. While at Woodville, the Lions of Brindley Mountain hit the road and couldn't pull out a win. Final score, Panthers 46, Lions 6. All right, well, let's go ahead and call our first timeout of the night.
Yeah, that's right. But don't go anywhere. When we return, we head to Limestone County for our big game Friday night rivalry game of the week.
Stay tuned for more big game Friday night on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
You're watching Big Game Friday night. Go Wildcats!
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
All right, welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Let's talk about some of the rivalry matchups taking place tonight. One of the best was taking place in Limestone County as West traveled to East.
Yeah, that's right. The crowd loving this one. A big cross-county rivalry with the 1-4 East Limestone Indians taking on the 3-2 West Limestone Wildcats. Early on, the Wildcats fake a punt, and check this out from the running back. He came to play tonight. It's Bradley Easton Smith who throws the stiff arm and runs it all the way in for the score to give the Wildcats a 7-0 lead. Then late in the first half, now down by 10, Indians running back freshman Xavier Edwards breathes some life to his squad, avoiding the defense with all his might to bring up a big first down. But it would not carry over as Wildcats quarterback Colin Patterson charges through the D and takes a big hit before finding the end zone as the Wildcats would take this one 31-7. And after the game, West Limestone head coach Selby Davis says this win was a big relief.
Anytime you can get a win over your cross-county rival, that's always good. You know, they've had our number for a few years. This is 2 in a row for our guys, and I'm excited for them.
Next up for the Wildcats, they head home for a matchup against a winless Wilson team.
Another 4A Region 7 team in action tonight was East Lawrence. The Eagles looking for their first win of the year on the road, taking on Hatton. So let's head out to Hatton High School. A great atmosphere tonight, and the Hornets would get things started on offense. Hatton quarterback Briley Kirby with the keeper, breaks a tackle, then drags 2 Lawrence defenders into the end zone for a lead, but they wouldn't stop there. 3rd and 20 now. Hatton's Kirby rolls out and completes the pass to Kenyon Suggs right in front of you for the first down, and Kirby was a busy guy tonight. On the following play, he scores from the 1-yard line. Hatton looks good tonight as they take this one at home 50-7 over East Lawrence. Let's turn our attention to 7A, where Austin is hosting Gardendale. After a slow start for both teams, Gardendale finally gets things moving with a handoff to Kendrick Story, who breaks it and makes it all the way to the 20 before he's knocked out of bounds by a Black Bear. The Rockets would find the end zone on another running play. This time it's the quarterback Tyler Nelson on the keeper, shimmying and shaking his way across the line for 6. Austin would put together a solid drive in response. Gavin Fuqua takes this one and starts charging downfield, moving the sticks for a Black Bear first down. Then Austin would take a shot at the end zone. Pass intended for Maurice Jones. A lot of contact on the play, but no call. They'd settle for a field goal that time, but the Black Bears would go on to win this one 17-10.
James Clemens, following a 10-0 regular season last year, have struggled this season and we're taking on an undefeated Muscle Shoals team on the road. One of the best matchups of the night right here. The Muscle Shoals Trojans trying to get something going at home, and the recipe is simple. Get the ball to Jalen Goodwin, and they do that here, and he shows you why he's your key player in this one. The Trojans into the red zone, the student section loving it, and they reward my man Jalen. He gets the call and gets in for the score, somersaulting into the end zone for 6 as the Trojans get the big win at home over the 7A opponent 38-10. While at Milton Frank Stadium, the Huntsville Panthers found themselves in action against May Jemison, and the Panthers wasted no time getting on the board in this one. Hand off to Carlin Long, and he's going to take this one long. Breaks a tackle, cuts across the grain, wins a foot race, and scores. Huntsville on the board in the first, and after they force a safety, they would find pay dirt again. Notice to opposing teams, don't kick to Huck Hensley, and this time the opposing team does. Stiff arms one, and he's not going to be caught again. He's into the end zone for the second touchdown of the night. It was a big evening for the Panthers at home as they win big over the Jags 54-0. Next week, Huntsville back in action against Albertville as they look for their 3rd region win. All right, let's go ahead and take our second time out of the show, but don't go anywhere.
When we return, we head to Pisgah, where the Eagles were hosting Sylvania tonight in a Sand Mountain Showdown.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday nights!
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
For high school football across North Alabama, how about we head out for our Spirit Award?
This is Arab High School Marching Band, and you're watching Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31.
All right, how about that? Big congratulations to the Arab High School Marching Band for being this week's Flow Air Spirit Award winners.
Night's games are always among my favorites to cover, as the Arab community creates one of the best atmospheres for high school football, and the band is always to thank.
All right, well, let's get back to some football now. It's our Big Game Friday night showdown taking place over at Pisgah. The Eagles welcoming in the Rams of Sylvania. Early in the first, no score. Eagle Legion McCreary takes the long way for the first down here, back and forth before being brought down by Sylvania's Jackson Smith. But moments later, Mason Holcomb with the pass to Jacob Kirby for another first down, and then just with 2 minutes left in the first, Eagles first and goal from the 2, and McCary powers through for a Pisgah touchdown, 6-0. But it would be the Rams that respond to that early touchdown as they roll on the road in this one to a win, 34-7. Some other scores from around that region. Fife hit the road to take on Plainview and took home a win. Final score 56-13, while Section hosted Westbrook Christian tonight and struggled to keep up. The Warriors win it 59-6.
For this next one, let's head back out to the Shoals. Deschler in action tonight at home, hoping to remain undefeated, taking on Colbert County. And this Colbert County squad is pretty talented, so a real test tonight for Deschler. And early on in this one, the Tigers came to play. Somehow they get the ball into the hands of Jakari Blue, and he's down the sideline to set up the big first down for the Tigers, and they let that man finish off the drive that he started. Blue gets the handoff again, and he lowers his head and finds his way across the goal line for a Deschler strike. Then, Nat Hampton, and he breaks one tackle and then gets a big block. And as the kids say, he gone. Another touchdown there as the Indians go on the road and hand Deschler their first loss of the season, 36-33. Here are some of the other scores from that northeast part of the state. Morris Hill in action tonight on the road, taking on Russellville, coming away with a 31-30 win. While at Ardmore tonight, the Tigers hosted Elkmont and claimed victory, winning 42-zip. While Phil Campbell hosted Carbon Hill tonight and brought home a win, 28-zip. At Brewer tonight, a big 5A game took place. The Patriots hosting Sardis tonight at home. It was homecoming at Brewer High School. The game gets off to a rough start for the Patriots. Caden Childers drops back but fumbles. Sardis recovers, and they take advantage of a short field. Brian Chapman tosses a touchdown to Eli Morton coming up. Sardis with an early 6-0 lead, but Childers leads Brewer down the field. Check this out. Inside the red zone, he's going to throw one to Walker Latham, and Latham leaps into the end zone right here. Extra point is good. Brewer leads 7-6. Sardis, though, they would strike back. Chapman fires over the middle to Carson Gillian, and he bangs into the end zone to take a 12-7 lead, and that would be the final. Sardis spoils Brewer's homecoming and hangs on for the win, 12-7. Looking at some other 5A Region 7 games taking place, Crossville and Boaz both played some non-region games, and the Lions couldn't keep up. They fall to the Southeastern Mustangs 48-20, while the Boaz Pirates, they were in action against Southside Gadsden, and the Panthers win that one 41-20. Let's finish off at Louis Cruz Stadium tonight. The Columbia Eagles hoping to snap the nation's longest losing streak as they take on Tanner. And the Eagles had their backs against the wall early tonight at the home of Alabama A&M. The Rattlers were on the goal line, and Jarek Thompson would jump over one defender and then fight his way in for 6. An early lead, and Columbia looks to respond. But on the first possession, things would not go their way. Fumble on the play, and Tanner has it going the other way. Make it a scoop and score, and it's a 2-score ball game. Columbia would have a few plays tonight to hang their hat on, like this throw from Tristan Savage, but in the end, it's Tanner all the way as they go on the road and return home with a 66-0 win. And lastly tonight, Oxford and the Hornets. They hosted Hartzell and couldn't keep up the momentum. The Tigers clinching a 69-21 win over the Hornets. All right, let's go ahead and call our third and final timeout of the night.
Yeah, but coming up next on Big Game Friday Night, we introduce to you our premier urgent care fan of the night. And later on tonight, we also share with you our top lights. Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday Night.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday Night.
You're watching Big Game Friday Night. Go Saints!
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday Night.
Welcome back into Big Game Friday Night, everyone. Thanks for joining us this week.
Well, before we wrap up, let's head out to Buckhorn High School to meet this week's premier urgent care fan of the night.
My name is Chase Ambrose. I'm the Big Game Friday Night Fan of the Night. Let's go!
All right, a big congratulations to Chase Ambrose for winning tonight's award. The Buckhorn student section was pumped up tonight despite the loss. Chase is a senior at Buckhorn High School, and he's on the Bucks baseball team, so love to see the school spirit. All right, well, let's take this time to thank all of our radio sponsors for helping make this show possible, and thank you to all of you that tuned in and chose Big Game Friday Night for your high school football show. But our football coverage doesn't just stop at high school football. Tomorrow, me and Max will be on the sidelines of the biggest game in the States for college football.
That's right. Both Alabama and Auburn kick off conference play as the Crimson Tide prepare to host Vanderbilt to kick off their SEC schedule, while Auburn hopes to move to 1-0 in conference play when they welcome in Mizzou to begin their SEC slate tomorrow at 11.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap things up here for Big Game Friday Night. A big thank you to everyone back in production, our producers, shooters. The show would not be possible without any
Well,
of
thanks
them.
for tuning in, and we'll wrap things the same way we do each week with your Big Game Friday Night Top Lights.
Good night, everybody.
You've been watching a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports.